You ever have an opinion about a video game that you just know will get you hated? Like a kind of opinion that will inspire people to tell you to kill yourself despite it really not mattering all that much? Yeah. Anyway, Ocarina of Time is still mid. Now, let's play Mario 3.
So, what kind of game could possibly follow the different versions of Super Mario Bros. 2?
Can I see the number line?
Yes, following the completion of the lost levels in Japan, Nintendo began working on a brand new, much more varied sequel to the games, with an emphasis on originality and engaging ideas. There were some ideas scrapped along the way, such as the game being isometric or a centaur power-up, but as things turned out, the only art of Centaur Mario is surprisingly tame but still unofficial. Ultimately, the game came out in late 1988 in Japan and early 1990 in North America. Europe, meanwhile, had to wait until mid-1991.
Does anyone miss the times when video games would have drastically different release dates depending on region? Anyone? Suppose there's nothing left to do but play the game. Now, I could play on my NES like I did with Mario 1, but frankly, I don't want to turn my couch around again.
So, we don't get any story from the start of the game, even by waiting on the title screen, though doing so gives us a nice little show between Mario and Luigi. Checking the manual does confirm that Bowser is behind everything, alongside his children, the Koopalings. Yes, his children. I don't care what retcons Miyamoto gives us nowadays, both the American and the Japanese manuals clarify that they are his children. Basically, the Koopalings stole wands from a bunch of kings across the world, and Mario must travel to castles, raid the Koopa airships, and save the transformed kings. Interestingly, this is the first game in the series to have continuous plot points, between the Toad's assistants, the restored kings, and letters from the princess. Hell, we only learned she's been kidnapped after beating the 7th world.
Though, of course she gets kidnapped. It's a Mario game after all. Interestingly, her sprite seems to be based off her appearance in Super Mario Bros. 2. That is, our Mario Bros. 2, not Japan's. Confirming for me that even Nintendo of Japan knew Mario 2 in the USA was better than the Lost levels.
The graphics in general are more than decent. Definitely a big case of outlines on everything syndrome, but hey, that just makes everything fit together much better than in the Lost levels. Some oddities, to be fair. The third king you save is a recolored Mario. For some reason, the Buzzy Beetles used almost the exact same sprite as the first game, no outline at all. But in general, the graphics, they're alright. Same with the music. It's not my favorite soundtrack in the series, but it's still very catchy. It still has the same issues the other games have, where sound effects will cancel out part of the music. I guess that's just the limit of the NES, but it's not a huge deal. So, all that's left to talk about is the actual game.
Yeah, I don't love this game.
Don't get me wrong, this is an amazing game, objectively. The world map is genuinely genius, mixing more freeform exploration with the linear levels that were the Mario format. We have a ton of Mario staples introduced in this game: slopes, a more modern-looking Bowser, boss fights with very slight differences between them. We even have multiple kinds of power-ups for the first time. In Mario 1 and Lost levels, we just had Mushroom and then Fire Flower, and in Mario 2 we didn't even have power-ups outside of more health and brief invincibility. Here we have Fire Flowers, as usual, as well as the brand new Raccoon Leaf and Secret Tanuki suit, which let Mario go flying once he builds up enough speed. The Tanuki suit also lets him transform into an invincible statue when pressing down and B. Flying is actually pretty cool, and it works decently well, though it can sometimes be tricky to tell how long you have to run to gain full P speed. We also have two other power-ups introduced, the Frog suit and the Hammer suit. I did not use them once.
No, seriously, I beat every level in the game without using the frog suit even once. And I never even found the hammer suit. As far as I can tell, the suits are only found in extremely secret blocks hidden in specific levels or in specific item houses. Frankly, I'm more amazed I actually found the Tanuki suit. Not that it really mattered that much, honestly. I only really used the flying ability, not the invincibility.
Yeah, for reasons that don't make a ton of sense to me, only the Fire Flower and Raccoon Leaf are available in most question mark blocks, but there are 3 additional power-ups that are incredibly hard to get in a game where you can't replay levels or save. I mean, it's whatever, the Raccoon Leaf is a lot of fun and that's the one that's most available, so who cares? But it does kind of put in perspective how much of the game's ideas are just kind of nothing. Like the Warp Whistle, a very hidden item that appears in 3 locations in the full game, which takes you to the Warp Zone for this game. Obviously this is a good inclusion, the game still doesn't have a save feature, so having a way to quickly get up to later worlds is important. The thing is, you need to complete at least 3 levels to even get 1, and if you need to get to World 8, or even get to 5 through 7 without beating the first world, you need to beat 4. And find the secrets to actually get the whistles, which, okay, sure, the warp zones in Mario 1 were pretty well hidden, especially for the time, but they weren't hard to get once you knew what to do. Or how about the other overworld items, like the music box, that lets you skip the roaming enemies and really aren't hard to find, so they either make those enemies pointless, or if you actually want to play the game, is pointless itself. Oh, and if you die in the last level of the world, the airship, it will fly somewhere else on the world map, which isn't hard to get to if you've, actually gotten to the end of the world, so it's just kind of annoying for no good reason.
Probably sounds like I hate this game, doesn't it? Here's the thing. Like I said, this game is good. Like, just objectively, it's a good game. The core gameplay loop is fun, there are things to work for in the levels. It's a good game. But I don't know why. This game just didn't really click for me. I kept drifting away from the game in my downtime, and by the end, a lot of levels just left me irritated. I don't think it's the game's fault necessarily. I can absolutely understand why so many people think this is one of, if not the best game in the series. But yeah, the game just didn't feel as fun as Mario 2, or at times even Mario 1. I think it's a better game than Super Mario Bros., but I think it's not controversial to say that game is a lot more replayable than Mario 3. It's only in terms of being easier to replay. But you know what? I still think it's worth giving this game a shot, even if you think you won't love it. I mean, hey, better than Ocarina of Time.